Good morning. The Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're at Madison Parish Detention Center. My name is Pearl Wise. To my left is Mr. Roche, and to my right is Mr. Freeman. With the staff at Madison Parish, please introduce yourselves for the record.
Lieutenant Alfreda Jones. I'm the only one in here, ma'am, with him.
We thank you, Lieutenant Jones. At the appropriate time, we do want to hear from the institution as to how he's been doing and what he's been doing. So if you can find somebody, let us know. We'll ask for that at the appropriate time. And we thank you so much for accommodating us this morning.
Y'all so welcome. I hope y'all can hear a lot better than y'all can hear the other day. And I put him over in the same area I put the other guy the other day so that we can hear a little better.
Yeah, it's good. The sound is really good. I put that. So, sir, give me your name and DOC number, please.
My name is Terry Dale Tilmon, DOC number 81500.
Okay, sir. We've already introduced ourselves. Let me go and explain the process. I'm going to read some information to the record. Afterwards, I'm going to conduct an interview with you, and I'll be interviewing you first because your case was assigned to me. After we finish with our interview, we're going to ask the staff there in Madison to give us an update on how you've been doing and what you've been doing. You do have a visitor today. You have your grandfather, Mr. Contrarius Williams, and he will be speaking. He's here in support. We'll give Mr. Williams an opportunity to tell us whatever he wants us to know about you. And once all the testimony has been heard, you make the final statement. You tell us what you want us to know before we vote, and then we'll render our decision. And do you understand the process?
Yes, ma'am.
And let me read this information into the record. I know you've been through this before. Sorry, I'm trying to get down to it. It's not flow. Okay, your name is Terry Dale Tilmon. Your DOC number is 81500. You are listed as a 5th felony offender. Your current offense is simple burglary, habitual offender, simple escape type 1, and armed robbery. Your sentencing dates are August the 20th, 1990 and April the 29th of 2003. Your DOC time is listed at 29 years, 4 months, and 7 days. Your parole eligibility date reflects 4/1/2010. You have a good time date of July 4th of 2025. You have a full term date of October the 29th of 2028. Is that about right? Okay, good. Does that sound about right, sir?
Ms. Wise, I was wondering about the armed robbery and the
Yes, sir.
simple escape.
Yes,
ma'am, that was committed in 1990, and I had served time for it, and I was on parole for that. And
Yes, sir.
my only charge that I'm currently serving time for now is the simple burglary. But
Okay.
I just want to clear it up because they had confused it one time, thought that I had committed the armed robbery in 2003, but I was already incarcerated. That was in 1990.
Okay.
Mr. Tilmon,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to differ with you. When you were revoked, you had 40 years left on your armed robbery. You are serving time right now for your armed robbery.
The parole time.
No, sir, you are still serving time on the armed robbery because when you were revoked in 2003, you were sentenced for the armed robbery for the remainder of the 40 years, 6 months, and 29 days.
Yes, sir. That's correct. That's correct.
All right, so we were notified classification of your concern, but we don't calculate time. So that's not the purpose of our hearing today. So
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
shift about
Yes, ma'am.
of us meeting you today. You're listed as a 5th offender. How old are you today, sir?
69.
Okay, you're 69 years old. Of your 69 years of living, How long would you say you've been in prison?
Approximately 30 years.
30 of your 69 years in jail. And now on your current sentence of 2003, how long you been in jail on this 29-year sentence you're serving now?
I've been incarcerated now 23 years and 11 months.
23 years and 11 months now. You keep coming back to jail. What is it about jail you like?
Bad choices. I'll be honest, I just made bad choices.
Was drug and alcohol a part of your bad choices?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the drug and alcohol use.
Well, when I was younger and completed school, I played football in school, and once I had injured my ankles, and they gave me some pills for pain pills or whatever, and I just sort of like, I guess, like the feeling of them or whatever, and that's why I first started out it to kind of like, deviate and got interested in painkillers, and from that point on, off and on, I started, using drugs or whatever, but that's where I actually, it actually began with pain.
Was it in high school when you said your ankle was injured? Were you in high school or college?
High school.
High school. So what are the illegal drugs that you turn to?
Well, I smoked marijuana, and the illegal drug that I turned to was heroin. And I started using methadone to try to curb the heroin use. And I was on.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And when I was arrested on this charge right here, I was going to a methadone program, Shreveport, behavioral clinic in Shreveport, Louisiana.
How long had you been going to that clinic?
I think it was something like approximately, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a year. It's been so long. I think it was maybe a year.
Was it helping?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
It just didn't prevent this crime though, huh?
Yeah, the crime was stupid. It was real stupid, and
Were you under influence? Were you under influence of anything when you committed this stupid crime, in your words?
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes, ma'am. I was. I saw methadone.
I don't know if we're supposed to say that out loud. You were under the influence of the treatment drug when you committed the crime.
Yes, ma'am. And like I said, it was stupid what I did, and I haven't told anybody this. Y'all be the first people that I'm telling this to. I had went by a friend of mine's house, and he was getting married, and he told me that he was supposed to be having a reception, and he didn't have anything, for his reception or whatever. And me being crazy or whatever, I wanted to try to see if I could help him, help get some money or whatever, so he could have some stuff for his reception or whatever, some food and maybe drinks and stuff like that. And that's what I basically was doing, trying to help somebody, and it was stupid what I did.
You talking about the crime when you took the lady's purse at Walmart? That was the motivation for that crime?
No, ma'am, it was at the duck pond.
Okay, the other one. At the duck pond?
Yes,
okay.
Ma'am.
That was
okay. The burglary, simple burglary took place there.
Sure, I see it now. So what was the motivation for taking the purse at Walmart? Do you remember?
Oh, that was something for money, peer pressure, sitting up listening to some people, we need money or whatever, and it was peer pressure. And I volunteered to call myself going to volunteer to try to get a car to go and try to, see if we could go and commit another crime or whatever. And I got caught.
Nobody in the group said, let's go look for a job. Nobody. Nobody in the group said, let's go look for a job, right? Nobody came up with that idea, huh?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Nobody. Okay. Let me put some things on the record, just for the record. In your case, we reach out to the in every case, we reach out to the law enforcement community, get their opinion. There's opposition that's been expressed in the law enforcement community. I'm going to read to you what the DA said. The Caddo Parish District Attorney's Office opposes parole release for defendant Terry Tilmon based on his extensive criminal history. Our office believes that he is a continuing danger to the community and should serve the entirety of his sentence. We oppose. What do you say to that? And this statement was received on January 30th of 2023. What do you say to that? Speak to that for.
You know, when I was in Caddo Parish, you know, the first 3.5 years, it took 3.5 years that I stayed in Caddo Parish before I was sentenced. And at that 3.5 years, I basically had learned my lesson before I had even got the time. The 3.5 years had almost just killed me, you know. And so after I got all this time, I was hoping that they would look at the fact that I had already done 3.5 years before I had even got the sentence. And as far as, you know, the district attorney on July of 21, I had a motion in the court, and the DA, they opposed me getting an early release and told the district attorney told the judge, she said that if Mr. Tilmon want to get an early release, that's what the parole board is there for. And I think he should go to the parole board. And I just want to say that I was sentenced to 24 years. And right now, 30 days from now, I have the 24 years in. And the only thing that I would have left is the parole time. But the 24 years, I have 24 years in next month. So, and as far as continuously committing crime, I'm 69 years old now. I have had 3 back surgeries in the past. My shoulders right now, I'm being treated right now for shoulder injuries. I had a slip and fall in 2020. I have basically recuperated from that all the way. And I'm just old now. I mean, you know, I'm older, I'm wiser now, you know, and I don't want to hurt nobody. You know, I don't want to hurt anybody. And
okay. What about your addiction? How you gonna stay clean and sober?
Oh, I've been working on that. You know, I've for the past 24 years, each institution that I've gone to, I have been a spiritual leader for all the institutions, and they have allowed me to create faith-based programs. I was intending to enclose a packet, and I've taught a lot of young men basic character building and things of that nature. And I have spoken strongly against drugs and used myself as an example. And prior to being incarcerated on this charge, I had put an application in for the Rutherford House in Shreveport, and it basically deals with, you know, indeterminate kids and delinquent kids or whatever. And they called me to come to work 3 days after I had got arrested. And I've always wanted to work with kids or whatever. So for the past 24 years, I've been working with kids. They are kids, some, you know, between the ages of 18 and 27 and things like that. And this right here was one of the, this package, what I'm holding up now, this is a leadership packet that I co-authored when I was at Winfield, and the Department of Corrections, they had, they stated that they would accept it as a bona fide faith-based program. And after they could get it into the system good, then they had closed down for ICE or the immigrants to come in. And so we didn't get a chance for, you know, to do it. But what I would like to do is, if me and the other guy that offender that authored it, I would like to try to see if we could get it started and do volunteer work, you know, for the prisons or whatever, you know, and try to get this program off the ground, because a lot of kids.
I appreciate that. I appreciate hearing. For the record, one of your victims is unopposed, and one of your victims indicated to us that they are still having nightmares for what you did to them. And there's nothing you can do about it, but I just want you to be aware of that, of the impact of your crime. Tell me about write-ups. Have you had any write-ups over this 23 years?
Yes, ma'am. I had one write-up in 2013. 2013, it was a defiance write-up that I was complaining about my window being broken, and it was raining. When it rained, it used to rain on me. And what I did was I told the major about it, and it was supposed to rain that night, and I told him that I was going to get wet or whatever. And so he and I, we had a kind of like a disagreement, and he told me to let him do his job. And so, and I'm being honest, I told him that he wasn't doing his job because every time I asked him to fix it, I get rained on or whatever, but nobody fixed it. So he wrote me up for saying that I was defiant.
Okay, all right. Okay, I got that. I get that picture.
I've had two write-ups since I've been incarcerated, 24 years, just two write-ups.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Yes, Ms. Wise.
Okay.
Mr. Tilmon.
Yes, sir.
I want to correct my statement. You're 69 years old, but I'm just a little older than you, and my eyesight is not what it used to be. When you were revoked, you had 4 years, 6 months, and 29 days left on your sentence. And you got 9 months and 8 days for the simple escape. And then you got 24 years for the simple burglary. That 24 years plus 4 years, 6 months, 29 days, and 9 months, that gives you the 29-year, 4-month, and 7-day sentence. You are finished with all of your sentences except the simple burglary. And you were correct. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Roche, for clearing that up. All right, now we can hear from your grandson. I'm so sorry. I said grandfather last time. Mr. Williams, would you unmute your mouth and mic and tell us what you want us to know? We can't hear you.
Grandson.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yes, sir. We can hear you now.
Oh, yes. So yeah, you said you want me to tell you some things about my grandfather. The honest truth is, I really don't know. I haven't had time to meet my grandfather because he's been gone so long. But in the past 6 months, I lost my great grandmother, which is his mother, and my grandmother, which is his wife. So he's like the last that I got left, and I would like to, for his last few years, to get to know him, and for him to get to know me, and also his grandkids, well, great grandkids. He has like 4 great granddaughters, and I would like for him to know them as well. Like, I know of my grandfather, I have one core memory of him, that he loved fishing, and that's where I get my love for fishing from. Granted, I don't catch much, but with his release, he can teach me the tricks of the trade. And I really would wish to have him home pretty soon here. And he can meet his granddaughters like that he's never seen. But in fact, there's one of them right here, right, bad one. But that's your granddad. She's never met him. He's never saw her. But I would like for him to come home soon just so he can get to know, his granddaughters and give them that leadership that he has so great.
Oh, she's so great. Are there any other kids there in the house with y'all?
Yes, I have a 3-month-old. She sleep right now. When they sleep, you let them sleep.
Oh, all right. I just wanted him to have an opportunity to see his family, but anybody else there that he could see. That he could see. Good. All right, precious.
Say bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for participating, sir. It's important that we hear from family. It's really important. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Tilmon, what is your plan?
I'm right here.
we can hear from you, and then I have one final question for him. What do you want us to know about, how's he been doing? What has he been doing? Lieutenant Jones?
Oh, well, I've been over here ever since February, but I have known him the previous time I have been over here. He's very respectful. He seemed like he got a head on his shoulder. He tries to talk to the younger generation that's coming in. He trying to let them know that, yes, I have made a mistake, but I tried to improve myself. And he tried to give him a lot of encouragement. And I sit down and talk to him a lot, and he always admit to the things that he has done wrong. And there's a lot of things that he want to try to help to change the society out there once he does get out. And inside here, he also try to teach them, hey, y'all got to, not once you done made a mistake, don't wallow in your mistakes like I did when I first came in. So he's very, I think at this time, I think he kind of learned a lesson. He lost some family members that tried to hang on for him for a long time. Like the grandson talks about his mom. He just spoke of his mom this morning. And he was saying that she tried to hold on as long as she could for him and his wife, and she did too. And I think those losses in his life has really, really made him see what's really going on, and things does happen. So I think that it would be nice to try to give him a chance. He hadn't been there. I understand that he has had a lot of before things he'd done before. But if we don't, as society, don't try to give them a chance, we're gonna have a lot of them that are gonna fail. We have to at least give them a chance.
All right, Lieutenant Jones, thank you for your input. It's valuable to our decision making. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
All right, Mr. Terry, I had one question before. What is your transition plan if you're successful today?
When you say transition plan, you mean when I, like if I was to be released, or my
Yes, sir.
goal?
Where would you live and how would you support yourself? Yes, sir.
I have so many things that I really want to do. When I was going to college when this
No,
happened.
sir. I just guess your immediate release. Where would you live and how would you support yourself?
Okay, my mother, she died back in December. So the family told me that I would be able to get my mother's house to live in.
Okay.
And my wife, she died 49 days after my mother.
I'm sorry for your loss, sir. So sorry for your loss.
And
so probably Social Security to be a source of income for you?
That's what she asked you. Is your Social Security gonna be?
No, ma'am. I was told, I can't think of, one time I was interviewed back in 2021. I think it was a Mr. Keith, I can't remember his whole name, but he had told me that, I could draw my wife's Social Security in her retirement. And the family had said that they wanted to make sure that I draw it or whatever. But I have to go to vocational rehab and let the vocational rehab make an assessment of where I could work it because of my disability. And I was going to go and try to get my SSI started as well.
Okay, sounds good. I just wanted to know what you thought about. Okay, Doc, any other things you want to say before we vote? Are you ready for us to go ahead and vote? You ready
Yes,
for us to go ahead
I'd
and vote?
like to say this right here, that I wanted to say this right here. I had just explained to Ms. Jones about, these different school shootings and things. I think I have a solution for it. And I believe that if the parole board would parole maybe some nonviolent offenders and vet them real good and place them on the perimeters of schools and let us, make sure that an active shooter don't get in, give us some walkie-talkies, because we could probably basically recognize if somebody have some suspicious activity or whatever, because there's a lot of guys that's in here, they just laying around and they not doing anything. And they just simply drug offenders. And we do have people that are at work release, like at Union Parish, and they are working at schools. And so the people shouldn't mind, other inmates just looking out to make sure people don't breach the perimeter and get into a school to, basically do it. And that was one of the things that I wanted to try to see if, if we could get started, if I was released or whatever. And it'll stop bullying, you know, to stop bullying. If somebody's selling kids, drugs or whatever on the school property, we could intervene and have a free person come and, you know, check them out or whatever, and find out what is their business or whatever, you know. And I wanted to try to see if I could get something started like that, you know, and get with, you know, get with some of the representatives or whatever and see if they would try to see if they could arrange something like that, you know.
All
And
right,
you know, I just
appreciate
want
it,
to
sir.
do something positive. I want to do something positive before I die, you know.
I didn't want to stop you there because we got so many other hearings.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel you. I really feel
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, I would vote first because your case was assigned to me. Mr. Terry, when I read your stuff last night, I tell you, I didn't know what I was gonna do with you. You presented well today. And your grandson was really like a cherry on top. So my vote is to grant, and also Lieutenant Jones. You really need to thank Lieutenant Jones, at least for me.
Yes,
Her
ma'am.
statement was very impactful for me. Because she's
Yes,
lived
ma'am.
with you a lot longer than, you know, a lot longer than we have just meeting you here. So my vote is
Yes.
to grant because of your, you know, your positive institutional record, the institutional comments, your family support from your grandson. As special conditions, I do want you to do the community service, like you said. I
Yes,
agree
ma'am.
with the service. And I want you to look up this. I want to make note of it, the Frederick Douglass Project. Look that up. And I just heard it one day this week, and it's a very good thing. It's something that you probably could be a part of.
Yes, ma'am.
Another condition, I want you to undergo a substance abuse evaluation when you are released and
Yes,
follow
ma'am.
that. And then also enroll in CR because you got brief issues you got to deal with, and CR will be one of the ways that you can address all of that at least 3 times a week. Go to your CR. That's my vote. Mr. Freeman.
I concur with Ms. White. Great comments from the institutional side and a great disciplinary record from your side. So my also to grant with the same conditions as Ms. White.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Tilmon, based upon the positive remarks from the staff, you've served the majority of the judge's sentence. Good family support. My vote is to grant your request. You have a curfew. If these are added conditions, you'll have a curfew from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. You must attend NAAA meetings at least 3 times a week. You are a drug addict and you need to monitor that situation on a weekly basis. I want you to attend NAAA meetings. And I also want you to do community service at least 4 hours a month.
Thank you, Mr. Rosen. So
Okay.
you get all this in writing, sir, but your
Yes,
parole has been granted today. Best
Yes,
wishes
ma'am.
to you, sir. I look forward to reading articles about what you're doing in the community.
You'll see. I won't let y'all down.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care. All right, thank you. And thank you to Madison Parish for accommodating us so well.
She just
She just-
stepped out.
You make sure you appreciate Lieutenant Jones because she brought it home for you today. Let her
Yes,
know
ma'am.
the board. I want to commend her for her input. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.